Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu A House of Many Doors. Für die nicht wissen, was es geht, Stream. Ich werde das Video sehr wahrscheinlich vor kurzem hochgeladen haben und es wird wahrscheinlich so das Tolles heißen wie First Look of Dingenskirns, A House of Many Doors. Der Stream war großes auf Englisch, nicht wundern. Für den Fall, dass ihr euch das lange Stream mit Schnibbeli-Video nicht antun wollt, Kurzfassung, ich habe dieses Spiel gekauft und ich liebe es. Es ist wie Sunless Sea, es ist unglaublich toll und ich bin eiskalt am Überlegen, es Sunless Sea damit auf dem Channel zu ersetzen. Denn es ist wirklich... Aber ohne jetzt weiter zu reden, wir sind mit der City of Knives fertig geworden und wir bewegen uns jetzt weiter Richtung Osten. Hoffentlich diesmal ohne Crashes, denn der Stream hat mit einem Crash geendet. Creepy, du bist langlich, will ich nicht. Aber du scheinst mich nicht anzugreifen, also bist du vielleicht freundlich. Guck mal nach. Hi, Kumpel. Jam-packed boxcars. Dilapidated boxcars gawked with crates and scarves and some reeds in peril. You see dozens of travelers squashed inside, from the coughing elderly to the squalling infants. They are hopeful and afraid. You wonder what drove them to risk the darkness of the house. Okay, or one hollow cider. Oh, ich kann irgendetwas davon hergeben. They want to swap maps with you, but only in exchange for something strong to drink. Ja klar. Zeig mal deine Karten her, was gibt's denn Schönes? A gaggle of the crew crosses over to your carrying a map from you to consult. When you finish, they clamor for a bottle of something to warm them in the dark. The City of Engines is marked on their map. A city of wonders and marvels. Or so you've heard. You dutifully copy it over. Sehr gut. So, und irgendwas davon wir haben. Wir haben eine Flasche Whisky. Wir geben ihm die Flasche Whisky. Farewell. Also, die Map leckt immer noch genauso abgrundtief wie auf dem Stream und ich habe keine Ahnung warum. Aber die Map ist wirklich einfach furchtbar beim Laggen. So, hier haben wir the City of Bridges, hier haben wir the City of Engines. Okay. Show Bradley a Spectacle Sight. Ich denke, wir werden erstmal nach Norden gehen und versuchen, das Spectacle Sight Ziel zu erreichen. Und dann schauen wir mal weiter. So. Klimpern, Klompel. Du bist wieder etwas länger. Du scheinst mich aber auch nicht zu verfolgen. Doch, tust du. Some ill-mannered brutes. Test of Guile. Hauen wir ab. Okay, your heart light has been turned off, deprimierenderweise, dadurch, dass wir entkommen sind. Das heißt, wir machen das Ding so schnell wie möglich wieder an, denn es gibt Dinge im Dunkeln, mit denen ich mich nicht... Ach du Scheiße, was bist du denn? The Tyrannic, one of a kind, tall as a mountain, the most intimidating weapon in the governor's arsenal, a dreadnought that itself inspires dread, hundreds of screws scurrying in its veins like ants. The Tyrannic was built after the Chimeric campaign, and it's no coincidence that the cities have not needed to fight a war since. Attack! Don't do this! Why would you even try? Leave! The Tyrannic rumbles on its way, oblivious. What? Das ist kein schönes Ding, mit dem möchte ich mich definitiv nicht lenken. Aber die guten Nachrichten sind, unser Licht ist wieder an, das heißt, wir können uns weiter bewegen. Das rote Licht um solche Sachen rum, wenn ich das richtig erkannt habe, bedeutet, dass man etwas machen kann. Der obere Teil scheint immer gleich zu sein. Und ab hier unten wird es scheinbar zufällig generiert, was bei den runterfallenden Dingen so ist. Also, a dilapidated church heißt über, das ist der Text für eine dilapidated church. Und darunter ist random generated. Also werde ich nur das lesen, was darunter kommt. You wonder if it was stone on a holy day. Perhaps an entire congregation was devoured by the dark. Looming above the altar is an obsidian statue of grimacing goddess with bats for hair. Order it taken back to your knippet. It looks like it could be valuable, but your crew mutter about a curse. Smash it. It's a heathen idol and it must be destroyed. Leave it alone. No point risking the curse. You order your crew back to board the ship. Smash it! Wir glauben an einen Gott, an einen wahren Gott, und das bin ich. Your crew set about the thing with sledgehammers. As it crumbles, you realize that a subtle whisper at the back of your mind has been silenced. Ah, sehr gut. Und jetzt wieder ein bisschen was von dem Wahnsinn dieser Welt losgeworden. Sehr schön. Es wird uns zwar sehr wahrscheinlich nicht dabei helfen, uns sehr lange über geistigem Wasser zu halten, aber vielleicht hilft es uns ein kleines Stück. Ich mag das Notepad hier persönlich nicht. Es nimmt sehr viel Platz ein. A rickety old house from another world erupted into a much larger house without ceremony. Its ceiling has fallen in, and rats scatter from the rubble as you approach. Enter the cottage. Get away! Get away! Crouched in one corner of the cottage is a scrawny man, bearded and unkempt. He stares at you with wide eyes like a startled child and aims a rifle at you with trembling hands. This must be a visitant, snatched from another world and caught inside here for shelter from the dark. Ask how he got here. Pursue him to join your crew. Take him prisoner, back away slowly. Ask how he got here. In a cooking whisper, the visitant tells you how he was conscripted into a war against the things from the skies. A missile was descending upon his platoon. Then everything went black, and he found himself here. Now I'm dead and in hell, he says. I know it to be true. You won't trick me, demon. He waves his rifle. Persuade him to join your crew. If he stays out here, he'll be dead within days. A bold proposal. You're at a disadvantage. Dann werfen wir mal unsere Münze. You failed. You try to calm him down, but the visitant screams and pulls the trigger. A gunshot rings out, and John Shover, your swabby, collapses with blood spreading across his shirt. The gunfire is met with gunfire. The visitant falls dead, riddled with bullets from several different directions at once. Your crew put away their weapons and try to bandage up John Shover, but it's too late. A tragedy. Better get back to the canopy before another disaster strikes. Die Welt in dem Haus finde ich sehr schön gemacht, wirklich. Restlos, unglaublich schön gebaut. Du siehst mir gefährlich aus, mit dem möchte ich mich nicht anlegen. Und es ist, egal wie man es dreht und wendet, eine Welt, in der man sich, genau wie in Sunless Sea, einfach verlieren kann, egal ob man möchte oder nicht. Man möchte einfach weitermachen. Es ist nicht der Punkt, wo irgendjemand sagt, hey, was hältst denn du von, oder hey, hast du schon gehört? Man liest das einfach und die Sache hat sich. Es sind einfach schöne Erinnerungen. Was bist du? Piracy enthusiasts. Ghoul Watch is filled with stolen sailors. A thousand worlds legends of sea makes a potent brew. Chief among the legends, of course, are pirates, and their life, piratically, has attracted passionate adherents. The ghoul pirates are bearing down on you, and they've lined up on a deck to wave their cutlasses. Each custom is more impractical than the last. Arr, they're shouting, try too hard. Pieces of 8! Give them 80 guineas? Habe ich nicht. Wir müssen wieder mal versuchen zu fliehen. And we passed, interestingly. Aber wir müssen dringend unser Hardlight wieder anmachen, bevor es schlimmer wird. Denn wie ihr unten sehen könnt, tauchen finstere, böse Kreaturen auf, wie länger wir uns durch das Dunkle schleichen müssen. Ah, aber unser Licht ist wieder an. Sehr gut. Bin gerade mit voller Wucht gegen eine Wand gekracht. Ich weiß noch nicht, wo genau. Wir müssen nach rechts abbiegen. Okay. Ah. Ich hasse es. Ich hasse diese Fledermaus-Events. Sie passieren random. Zumindest glaube ich das. Ich habe noch keinen Indikator dafür gefunden, dass ich irgendwie sehen könnte, wann oder wo sie passieren. Und ich hasse sie. Sie sind genauso schlimm wie Jumpscares in Horrorspielen. Man rechnet überhaupt nicht mit ihnen. Kein bisschen. Sie kommen wirklich aus dem Nichts und ich kann nichts dagegen tun. Das ist zum Kotzen. A library from another book, from another world collapsed in on itself. Success! Gertrude Grimm, your junior engineer, finds a book still lying on a miraculously untouched shelf. She blows aeons of dust from the cover and shoots you a delighted grin. Huh. An ancient grimoire. Quite a find. No scuffle into the dark. Es würde mich nicht wirklich stören, wenn du mich einfach in Ruhe lassen würdest, du Kackding. Das letzte Mal, als ich mich mit so einem kleinen Vieh angelegt habe, hat es 2 riesige Kanonen an Bord gehabt und ja, das machen wir lieber mal nicht, ne? So. Schritt für Schritt weiter durch die Dunkelheit. Versuchst du mit mir in Kontakt zu treten direkt? Nein, das heißt, du bist wahrscheinlich eher freundlich. Gut. A test of vigilance, search for a book. Das kann scheinbar nicht immer funktionieren. It happens. So, aber bevor wir irgendetwas anderes machen, noch 2 Felder. Gut, dann haben wir es ja tatsächlich bald. Ja. und weiter. Ich mag die Musik auch. Sie ist wieder, wie immer, von Fail Better Games. Das ist nicht von Fail Better Games, das ist von jemand anderem gemacht. Verzeihung. Aber man sieht die Inspiration. Die Musik spielt eine wichtige Rolle im Spiel. Und sie macht das, was sie möchte, gut. The Unmoving Star. Okay. A cold sun, thousands of miles across, stolen by the house from some unfortunate solar system. Will the unmoving star impress Bradley? The star banishes the house's darkness completely. Shadows gnaw perfectly at the corners of the room. It swells and contracts with something like breath. Vast, blazing, glorious. What does it mean to do? Asked Bradley. Does it just sit there? My eyes hurt. Maybe somewhere less bright. A cold sun, thousands of miles across, stolen by the house from some... Oh, gerade gelesen. A day of contemplation. The darkness cannot reach you here. Flames rage in silence. Cinders dance on the breeze. You spend one day in contemplation, regain some sanity, and regain a breathtaking spectacle. A respite. You cannot look directly at the star, of course. Not if you want to keep your sight. Ja. Mehr können wir im Moment nicht machen, also lasst uns weiterfahren. Probe over the map. Show Bradley a spectacular sight weit im Osten, sehr weit im Osten. Und let Sandy treat you to a meal. Ich denke, wir werden nach Süden auswandern fürs Erste. Also den unteren Teil der Karte. Dann werden wir ein paar Quests erfüllen, denke ich. Wird sich vielleicht ein bisschen mehr von dieser Welt für uns offenbaren. Und ich möchte ein bisschen mehr über diese Welt erfahren. A tavern from another world. Its roof is caved in, its floor caked in dust. The bar is tragically empty. Search for a drink? Oh, you've lost some sanity, but regained a haunting vision. A ruined pub. You climb down to the dark and dusty wine cellar. The bottles are all smashed or looted. Just as you're about to give up and go back upstairs, you hear a strange noise. It's not the usual kind of strange noise that the house likes to throw at you. Screeches, whispers, ghostly laughter. Instead, it's a pleasant hubbub from above. A singing and a murmuring and a clinking of glasses. Somehow that's much more unnerving. You pause for a moment, listening. Then you climb back upstairs to investigate, and for just a moment you see a pub, bursting with patrons, warm and bright and merry, and then it fades, back into its cold, ruinous emptiness. Silence settles once more. A profound unease. Time to scuffle into the dark. Ich muss gestehen, es ist durchaus atmosphärisch, nicht unbedingt nur im Positiven. Es ist wirklich unangenehm, dem Spiel bei seiner Wegentscheidung zu folgen. A strange apathy has consumed your crew. Also, wie weit noch? Ach, noch ein weites Stück. Wir haben Zeit. Wir können zweimal, glaube ich, nach rechts gehen. Damit wir auf einem geraden Zug sind. Da unten ist eine Statue von einem Griechen. Das Haus hat scheinbar mehr verschlungen, als man am Anfang annehmen würde. For days they've been moving listlessly and talking seldom. Meine Leute haben eindeutig Angst. Ich frage mich nur, vor was genau? Oh, und da haben wir wieder eine Kirche oder eine Bibliothek, die wir untersuchen können. Was haben wir Schönes? A church. You wonder if it was stolen on a holy day. Looming above the altar is obsidian statue of a grimacing goddess with bats for hairs. Once again we will smash it. Alles zusammenschlagen, was sich zusammenschlagen lässt. Wir sind nicht hier, um Freundschaften zu schließen. Also. Und hinab. Es würde mich natürlich persönlich freuen, wenn wir vielleicht auf dem Weg hinunter noch irgendwo einen weiteren Ort finden, den wir erkunden können. Aber ich denke, dieses Glück habe ich heute noch nicht. Was auch immer das ist, ach du Scheiße. Escaped Dream Terrors. The dirigible brings with it a wave of deepest cold looking through a telescope. You see a hunched figure made of shadows, a swarm of spiders in the shape of a man, fire-eyed skeletons parting their rotten teeth and laughing like spiteful schoolgirls. Creatures from nightmares have hijacked a blimp and fled Fatima Quinn. You hope the slave-addled fool who is dreaming these things wakes up, and fast. With enough noise, maybe you can wake the dreamer. You grab the radio and bellow as loudly as you can. Your crew stands on the roof, setting off fireworks. The constable whistles like a banshee. Probieren wir's. Whew. You suck in a last great lungful of air and shout fit to bring the ceiling down. The nightmares wail as they blink out of existence. The blimp remains, drifting pilotless. You send crew to loot it, but find nothing of any value. Somewhere, in Fatima Quinn, a dreamer is no doubt waking in the cold sweat. Das nächste Mal, wenn wir also einen Zeppelin sehen, im besten Fall nicht anfassen. Aber erstmal weiterkriechen. Wir haben immer noch keine Möglichkeit gefunden, uns zu reparieren und haben auch beim besten Willen nicht genug Geld, um irgendetwas zu reparieren. Ich habe wirklich keine Ahnung, wie ich das hier schaffen soll. A wall pitted with scars, a crater blown to the floor, more reminders of the glass reincarnation. Multiple fountain from another world, a chubby statue stands in the center with an upturned jug, gazing at you moronically. Stagnant water still puddles at the base of the fountain. There are coins gleaming at the bottom. Wir brauchen das Geld. You gather the money from the fountain. Your crew mutter amongst themselves about bad omens and the wrath of the gods. As you climb back into the canopy, something screeches overhead, a passing bat, or perhaps just a ghost. But the crew are now thoroughly on edge. Wir haben nicht nur ein bisschen Sanity verloren, wir haben einen ziemlich großen Haufen an Sanity verloren. Was ist das für ein Geräusch? Oh! Oh, was war das? Das hat richtig in den Ohren weh. A blimp. Once more. Was? Oh mein Gott, ich hasse dieses Spiel. Ich liebe es und ich hasse es. Das ist Lachen. Was zur Hölle war das? Und das ist disgusting. Something draws you to this well. You order the canopy to stop and descend to take a closer look. Whispers echo from below. When you listen closely, you can hear a conversation from another world. Two lovers chatting and giggling and talking about work on the farm. When you look down, you see two silhouettes reflecting in the still water. A blue sky above them. Then the water shimmers and the illusion breaks. Scuttle onward. That conversation replays in your mind. So young, so innocent. How odd that such inconsequential words would wind their way into another dimension. Erstmal einen Weg finden, diesen Blimp zu entkommen. Das tue ich mir nämlich ganz sicher nicht an. Was haben wir gerade gefunden? Das interessiert mich. Hextall und Founder's Fire. Sehr interessant. Aber zuerst schauen wir uns das kleine Ding hier unten an. Was ist dieses Lachen? Hör auf damit, Spiel! Was soll die Scheiße? A dilapidated church. A church from another world, its spire sagging, its steeple fallen in, candles stop stamp rotten holy books. You found a rough stone table sitting a lecture. It is carved with runes that seeming subtle crawl top of the granite. Order taken back to your canopy. It looks like it could be valuable, but your crew mutter about a curse. Wir brauchen Geld, nichts anderes. The stone tablet feels oddly warm to the touch. There's nothing else to be found here. Da, am Arsch mit euren verdammten Flüchen. Ja, mach Lärm. Verfluchtes Spiel. Founder's Fire. Schön hier. Ziemlich heiß. Mann, war da scheiße. Entschuldigung. The capital city of the Sixfold Principate, a magnificent sprawl dominated by the unpainted metal vessel around which it was built. Embedded nose down in the floor, the sleek metal founder spews unending flame. It has been plundered of its most valuable technology, and for the exploration of its depths are reserved only for the prince's most trusted scientists. Floating above the city, at a careful distance from the flame, is the prince's personal palace, the Tower of Billowing Silk. A taffeta spire within which the most exquisite pleasures are to be found. Ja, das ist mal eine schöne Beschreibung. A woman in rough-spun brown robes is attempting to attract your attention in a situation. She waves you down desperately. Warum nicht? Yes, hello, thank you. She grabs you by the arm and steers you to a quiet stall in the corner of the station where she buys you a cup of milky tea. I need your help, she says. You'll be rewarded, I promise. I don't have much, but she starts emptying her handbag out onto the table, creating a small heap of coins, cigarette packets, and half-eaten tubes of mints. I'll do my best. Why me? I've spoken to every traveler who's come through here today, she says. I needed someone who's not from the Principate, someone who's not being watched. Who are you? My name is Bay, she says. I'm a member of the Summoner's Circle, just an apprentice, to tell the truth. The Circle are a cabal of occultists who specialize in summoning from other worlds. They're probably the single most powerful group in the city, and the apprenticeship is highly coveted. What help do you need? I can't see anything in public. You retreat to Kinetope, where she finally takes her hood and shakes out a tangle of drab brown hair. Her eyes are nestled in pitch-black circles. Thank you, she says. For a moment she hesitates, fussing with her sleeves. I came to you because Prince's heart is missing. Missing? Why haven't I heard about this? I don't know. Bay spreads her hands helplessly. It's been hushed up. No one outside the circle even knows he's gone. The prince's heart is a tempestuous man. He's disappeared before, but never without making arrangements first to keep things running in his absence. I'm worried about him. I don't expect you to go out of your way, but just keep an eye out. She looks forlorn. This is more than just an apprentice looking for her vanished boss. This is either hero worship or love. Or perhaps both. First of all, a test of spirit. Who knows? Maybe we have luck. Ask about her relationship. He's my boss, and I admire him a great deal, says Bay. Nothing more. What are you implying? Where should I start looking? I don't know, says Bay. I'm just an apprentice. Maybe we could start by asking the other members of the Prince's Council, their eyes or their hands. They must know something. I will promise you I will find him. Maybe. If I don't die first. Thank you. Bay clasps your hand. I just hope he's in one piece when you find him. She leaves the Kenyautopate in a hurry and vanishes into the crowds of the station. Interesting. Bevor ich jetzt die beiden anspreche, wollen wir erstmal weitermachen. Let Sandy buy you and the crew a meal. Sandy's favorite restaurant is on the intersection of Shipshade Square and Frostgate Lane. The food is served in exquisite small portions. Entschuldigung. And the waiters who serve it act as though they're doing it a troublesome favor. It's expensive too, hideously expensive. Your crew order the choicest dishes and finest wines, and Sandy looks on with delight. Finally she stands up on her chair, coughs. I would like to propose a toast, she says, lifting a glass and is simpering, to our captain, who's kindly agreed to pay for this meal. With outrage, react with outrage. What? I said no such thing. You promised to. Calmly finish your meal. You can sort this out when the bill comes. Take Sandy away from the crew. Out into the alley outside, ask her what is the meaning of this. She smiles at you with boldly manufactured innocence. It was very kind of you to agree to cover the bill, boss, she says. I don't have any money at all, so I couldn't possibly chip in. Go back and finish your meal. You can sort this out when the bill comes. Ich hab kein Geld, wie soll ich das bezahlen? Tell Sandy she'll have to work off the debt. Her shares of loot and pay will go to you now. Fire her, she's a menace. Shoot her in the kneecap. Ich würde das echt gerne machen, einfach zu sehen, was passiert, aber ich bin kein Mensch, der so etwas einfach abziehen könnte. Also, sie wird das definitiv abarbeiten, ne? Her expression changes. Oh, don't make me work it off, Captain, she wheedles. Please, I have 7 children back home. You know, hungry mouths to feed. They rely on the money I sent them. She lays her hand on your arm. Tell you what, I have something that can make this up to you. I swear. Something worth much more than a meal. Let's go back, eat our meal, and then I tell you. If I'm lying, well, I'll work off the debt as agreed. Agreed to let her off. Just this once. Oh, shit. Your crew have a great time, laughing, joking, and slapping you in the back. More fine wines, more tiny portions of bog, drake, steak, and Gandalf trout. All told, your bill racks up to over 200 guineas. Ich hatte das nicht. Also weglaufen, denn mit dir habe ich einen Deal. Shit. You shout to your crew and you all scatter in every direction. A dozen restaurant staff pull their beating sticks from behind a corner and give chase. You manage to shake them off and get back to the canoe, but only after all the crew between them have acquired 6 broken teeth, 2 bloody noses, and uncountable bruises and a shattered ankle. Sandy comes to you a few hours later, doing her best to look contrite.
It was so nice of the restaurant to let us off without paying, she says merrily. I encounter so much generosity wherever I go. Now, Captain, I know our payment situation got confused, and I want to make it up to you. Yeah. Listen, Captain, I feel bad making you pay and all, she says. I want to make it up. I know where to find a key. A real, genuine, no bullshit key. Can open any locked door in the house, no problem. Worth more than a mountain of gold. Take me to Chimer, she says eagerly. That will square anything I own you. Wir werden sehen. Wir werden sehen. She claps with delight. We're going to make such money, she thrills. To Chimer. She goes to give you a hug, then thinks better of it. Yup. Shoot in the kneecap. Mehr sage ich nicht. Shoot in the kneecap. Rest and recover. 20 guineas. Nein, definitiv nicht. Oh shit, das goes for you. News boards, newspapers, crack like radio towers, Founders Fire overloads you with information if you're willing to pay. Ja. Machen wir mal. Denn ein bisschen Current Affairs ist immer gut. Find in your pocket an unsigned letter. It invites you to meet a benefactor in a cafe on Inside Row. He sits in the window of a sludge cup a cup of coffee sitting untouched before him, always watching the stream of passers-by beyond the glass. There's only one eye in his hollow face, and it focuses on you as you sit in his table. Eye in the prince's eye, he says. You work for me now. The governor offers you nothing but ashes and lies. Trust me on this. He stares through the window. Look at them, he says bitterly. They don't know what we do for them. This is quite a busy place to conduct espionage, isn't it? Come on now, says the prince's eye. They all work for me. Every regular citizen in Founders Fire avoids the sludge cup like the plague. It took us 18 months to engineer coffee this bad. The prince's eye turns his mug upside down. The coffee slops out gently. He goes back to mournfully watching the passerbys. Ich glaube, ich habe doch. Sell your porches dream. From a man uninterested in speculations, the eye seems oddly eager to hear your dreams. In as much detail as you can, he demands. 40G. Weg damit. Ich habe sonst nichts zu verkaufen, also können wir nicht weitermachen. Mrs. Princess Eye, nein, gerade nicht. Bid for the prince's favor. This is the only way to get anything done in the city. You must find a way to make an impression. Submerge yourself in the color of spectacle. The Principate celebrates, rather than imprisons, its new visitants. The city streets are a hubbub of bizarre, otherworldly fashions. A street circus is in full swing. Acrobats pirouette on the beds of snails, elephantine creatures dance on their hind legs, a two-bit occultist breathes clouds of sparkling green smoke. The ringmaster's a scaly thing, its head balanced on a neck as long as your arm. To you, this seems as marvelous as anything else in the circus, but the crowd paid no mind. Hours later, the circus shows no signs of dwindling down. Time to slip away. Yeah, sometimes it's a good idea to slip away. Bid for the prince's favor. Rumor has it that one of the prince's hands shall be attending a party at the Grand Estate at Belvedere Boulevard. This would be a perfect opportunity to get close to one of the prince's closest advisors. You don't have an invitation, of course, but that shouldn't stop you. Bluff your way in. Definitely. I will only fuck up slightly. Oh, it worked. You make a convincing show of having forgotten your invite. Your fine clothes and mannerism do the rest. The dolphin finger at the door blubs an apology and lets you pass. The estate is sprawling of gardens, fountains and marble. Fireworks sparkle and crackle overhead. You drift between clusters of minor nobility, making small talk before finally alighting upon your target. The prince's hand is a handsome man of intimidating age. His long blonde hair wrapped in a tight bun, his beard short and incomprehensibly trimmed. His right arm ends at the elbow, and his suit sleeves has been neatly buttoned up to cover the knob. Test of spirit flatter him. Test of esotericy. Wir können zumindest versuchen, ihn highly unlikely oder implausible. A desperate gamble, a formidable proposition. Esotericy hört sich realistischer an, auch wenn wir es verlieren werden. Holy shit. The prince's hand listens to you with a condescending smile at first, but soon you can tell he's genuinely interested in the conversation. You compare statistics and nuggets of obscure political history, hash out your disagreements, and together build a theoretical paradise in a cautionary dystopia. Finally, he leaves you to attend an appointment that he's already 20 minutes late for. He had a twinkle in his eye. Perhaps you made an impression. The rest of the party's a bore. You managed to slip away. So, aber bevor wir hier weitermachen, wünsche ich euch fürs Erste noch einen wunderschönen goldigen Tag und wir sehen uns in der nächsten Folge von A House of Many Doors. Und bis dahin, war ich euer Goldi. Also, bye bye.